Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's up? How you doing? You doing good? It is 9 p.m. CST, now 9:01 p.m. CST. Oh my god, Alan, I can't believe you told a lie. On a Friday, April 25th, 2025. Welcome back to reading. Been a minute, hasn't it? Hello, everybody. Howdy, Unlucky. Howdy, Beta Fan. Hi, Freddy. Howdy, Sasha Hart. Howdy, Yoma de Half Phantom. How y'all doing? How are you doing? I'm doing good. I've eaten too much. And that's not great, but oh well. Is the beeping going to happen on the live stream? It has not happened yet today, so probably. Been forever since you've done a reading stream. I know, I'm sorry. That's why we're here to make up. With a 3 weeks worth of reading. This is a loud song, what the hell? Oh, it's Silent Hill. Of course it is. Let's turn it down a bit more. My 7th Undertale playthrough I feel lifeless. You are literally turning into Flowey. Made me start a Goodreads account, finished reading Carrie. Hell yeah. Go read more Stephen King. And I hope you have a good time. Good new subscriber and thought I'd catch the stream. I appreciate that, and I hope you enjoy the time here. This evening, we are doing some reading. We're reading SCPs and Backrooms for the other channel. We have a lot on the list for the evening. Like, way too fucking many. Almost 3 full weeks. Because next week is the start of May. Wait. I overcompensated. I am removing 2 of these things. They'll be here later. 2 of these are not being done. Not tonight. For some reason, my calendar was wrong. But whatever. Whatever, dude. The one. Printed spiders, printing spiders, printing spiders, printed spiders, printed spiders. That took me like 20 minutes to finish. Played and beat Undertale for the first time last month, and I cried at the true pacifist ending. When I watched it back when it came out, I also cried. It was a good time. I almost cried playing Undertale a few years ago, but that's for a different reason. It's because I was doing the No Mercy run, and Sans is a bitch. There's one horror game we kept trying to play. That was Until Dawn. We ended up playing it. It just broke my audio. It was cathartic. It's a very good game. It's a very healing game. Hello, I think. Hello, one, though. Over in Twitch chat. How are you? I did not cry and I feel guilty. That's okay. Oh, hey. Luis Orlando Herrera Martinez is back. Welcome back. Does Weeble canonically only have 3 fingers? Yes. Either that or he has, like, fused knuckles. Like, fused lower fingers. So, like, he has, like, 3 large, like large fingers that split into 6 smaller ones. That's it. You have Discord for your channel? I do. There is a link to it in the description. Are you hyped for Deltarunes Chapter 3 and 4? I've only played 1. I still need to play 2. Can you blame Sanzo? You killed like 98% of people in the underground. I blame him. His fault. Yeah, these videos that we will be reading, these articles will be getting their videos uploaded starting with the beginning of May. We have a lot to get through. Stretch. Ready to read my audiobooks? Hell yeah. Which documents are you perchance reading today? Well. It's a good thing you ask one, though, because I have 3 sets. The first set that we will be looking at is SCP-7474, SCP-7128, Level 198, and Level 700. Also, should I stretch it? Yeah. I think that looks a bit better. These 4 are not everything we are reading. This is just set 1. After that, there is a lot more. Gonna blame the guy that's the last obstacle between a relentless killer and one of the final people in the underground? Yes. I am going to victim blame Sans. He should have just let me kill everybody. I mean, come on, man. It looks a little off. Is the stretch bad? I'm trying to figure out how to... Yeah, we'll just deal with this. It's cinematic. It's got, like, letterboxing. Widen it a little? How about making it wider work? How would that help? Because then the text will go off screen. Ah, well, it doesn't matter. How are these SCP anomalies even created? We don't know. I think. Isn't that like one of the point of SCP? Is that shit just kind of happens? Sometimes? Watching a Red Dead 2 cutscene. Nice. Technical difficulties, not technical difficulties. Just trying to figure out sizing. Are you out of order? No, you're out of order. The article's read out of order. Negative. This is set 1. I updated it in order to I added 4 extra articles in order to fill out next week. And then we're going to the stuff that you're looking for, Freddy. Basically, they just popped into existing just recently. Yeah. I don't see 7474 in the articles read. Refresh. Because it is there. Thumbs up. Anyway. We got a lot to read, so how about we get into it? Alright. A blatant ripoff. Item number SCP-7474. Object class Keter. Special containment procedures. Research efforts have been redirected into discovering means to halt SCP-7474 manifestations. Instances of SCP-7474-A are to be recovered at the request of Research Head or Site Director only. All Foundation personnel are to be briefed of the general nature of SCP-7474, and suspected manifestations are to be reported immediately. Crowd control efforts have been limited towards ensuring the integrity of Foundation operations near human settlements. Furthermore, knowledge pertaining to the false origin of recent SCP-7474 manifestations is to be upheld by any means necessary. Archived Special Containment Procedures. As SCP-7474 manifestations are impossible to prevent or predict, all containment efforts are to be directed towards misinformation in the general populace. All suspected cases of SCP-7474 manifestations are to be attributed to typical products guilty of trademark infringement. Confirmed instances of SCP-7474-A are to be confiscated for study, stored in Site-76 low-security storage wing, and catalogued accordingly. See Addendum 7474. See Addendum 7474-1. Description: SCP-7474 is a phenomenon described as the spontaneous manifestation of varying objects. Footnote: referred to as SCP-7474-A. The objects themselves are non-anomalous. No discernible patterns have been discovered between the intended purpose of the objects. However, each one seems to be an inferior imitation of said object. Footnote: colloquially known as a ripoff. While SCP-7474 has no known limit to the While SCP-7474 has no known limit to its area of effect, most confirmed instances of SCP-7474-A have been recovered from areas where the average citizen lives under the regional poverty threshold. Footnote: as most manifestations are likely to go unreported, any possible implications of this remain inconclusive. Addendum 7474-1. Recovered objects. Below is the abridged version of the item catalog of SCP-7474-A instances, under Foundation Study. For the comprehensive list, contact the current head of research. Item: board game. Item description: item consists of a box and the contents within. Contents include a game board constructed of frail cardboard, copper pieces in various shapes, a set of cards and pieces of paper with a number written on each. The box itself has the name Monopoly written on it. Item: tube of chips. Item description: a tube containing potato chips which fill 46% of the tube. The tube has a sticker depicting a mascot with a mustache, along with the name Crinkles. The flavor is described as mayo and pepper, though the taste has been described to be bland. Item: DVD case. Item description: DVD case titled Mary Trotter and the Prisoner of Secrets. Upon playing the disc contained in the case, the first 17 minutes of the movie, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, is played, after which it displays a screenshot of the movie for a duration of 1 hour and 32 seconds. Item. Tractor. Item description. A tractor of medium size. The object was missing several essential parts at time of discovery. The object was missing several essential parts at the time of discovery, likely due to them being sold. The tractor itself was abandoned in a landfill and is currently inoperational. A logo of a moose head with the name John Moose is present on the frame. Item. Perfume. Item description. A glass container filled with a clear liquid. A label is wrapped around the container with the name Melvin Klein, written on it with a silver marker. The liquid has a pleasant smell, though loses the intended effect after brief exposure to moisture. Item. Potted cactus. Item description. A blue columnar cactus. Palossocerius pachyclatus. Growing in a small clay pot filled with a mixture of soil and sand. The pot has a sticker with the text, Flowerscape, written on it. Despite being tended to, the cactus is currently withering due to unknown cause, and is expected to die within 2 to 4 weeks. Addendum 7474-2, Surveillance Report. Between the 12th of April 2023 and the 31st of July 2023, approximately 670,559 individuals between the ages of 3 and 7 have died due to rapid bodily deterioration. Observed symptoms include, but are not limited to, rapid decrease of muscle mass, deterioration of bone structure, weakened blood coagulation, rapid shedding of skin, gastric ulcers and expulsion of gastric fluids. Large majority of human population believes these symptoms are the cause of an unidentified disease, and the Foundation will strive to uphold that belief. Most countries attempt to contain mass hysteria amongst their citizens, to varying degrees of success, with some resorting in the declaration of martial law to contain the resulting damage to human lives and infrastructure. Means to combat psychological harm on a massive scale are currently underway. Investigation taking place within the week following the initially reported cases resulted in the discovery of common factors between each individual. Autopsy confirmed the presence of a tag attached to the tailbone, with each one having the text Human, TM, printed on them. Additionally, the parents of each individual were confirmed to have struggled with infertility prior to the conception of the child. Further study is ongoing. That's not a watering can. That's a watering can. That's a watering can. Well, damn. We're selling dollar store humans here. Get your kids here. Half off. Their lifespan, that is. Rip. Is John Mooston. John Mooston. Micah, you no good son of a bitch. I'm gonna kick your ass. Sorry, I was stretching. It is hot in here. You know what? That's fine. All right. Next. Drink. Now, is that pronounced Uklulit? I am learning. Uklulit. Alright. I've learned. Am I going to do my altered item fan-made one day? Maybe one day. I still don't know how to handle that. I'll figure it out. One of these days. I swear. Alrighty. The Keepsakes. Item number: SCP-7128. Object class: Safe. Special containment procedures. Each instance of SCP-7128 is to be kept in a single padded cutlery case in Low-Yield Item Storage Facility 1 at Site 43. Care must be taken not to disturb this case. Individual instances may not be removed for testing for periods exceeding 1 hour. Conservation efforts must be oriented toward preserving the remaining enamel coating and preventing further damage. Description: SCP-7128 is a set of 11 identical commemorative coffee spoons in the image of a uniformed member of the Royal Canadian Air Force. The spoons were commissioned on behalf of the families of the number 444 Squadron RCAF after the January 1945 Battle of Ucluelet, British Columbia, in which the squadron's 12 planes were destroyed by an experimental Obscura Corps weapon operating from an offshore submarine. As this act occurred in a populated area, a concentrated program of amnesticization and document alteration was undertaken by the Foundation. The 444 was stricken from the record entirely, and its members listed, killed in action, in a variety of training accidents across the Canadian home front. However, as cover-up efforts were undertaken in concert with the RCAF and the Occult and Supernatural Activity Task Force of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, procedural differences resulted in a serious oversight. Under the assumption that the 444 would be properly memorialized for their service, OSAT officials authorized the use of metal from each of the 12 Supermarine Spitfire Mk-1 aircraft. OSAT officials authorized the use of metal from each of the 12 Supermarine Spitfire Mach 1 aircraft. Mark 1. OSAT officials authorized the use of metal from each of the 12 Supermarine Spitfire Mark 1 aircraft, downed at Ucluelet, to produce a commemorative spoon for each pilot. Only one spoon was mailed before Foundation operatives discovered the error and addressed it. Due to poor record-keeping on the part of OSAT, it could not subsequently be relocated until its recipient had melted it down to recover the metal. All other materials recovered from the crash sites were neutralized and disintegrated. Each SCP-7128 instance exhibits safe-range paraspectral energy. Each SCP-7128 instance exhibits safe-range paraspectral energy. This energy intensifies when the instances are jarred, overturned, or separated from each other for any length of time, and flares when the instances are damaged. After sustaining such damage, an instance's paraspectral emissions permanently increase to a minor, but measurable extent. The members of Number 444 Squadron RAF and their respective SCP-7128 instances are as follows. Name: Hayden Adlock. Instance: SCP-7128-1. John Barber. SCP-7128-2. Mac Bradbury, SCP-7128-3. Ernie Hall, SCP-7128-4. Reese Jackson Jr., SCP-7128-5. Horace Keaton, footnote, Squadron Leader, SCP-7128-6. Bert Kelly, SCP-7128-7. Aaron Lee, SCP-7128-8. Austin McLeod, SCP-7128-9. Jerry Savage, N.A. Jacob Sr., SCP-7128-10. John Wood, SCP-7128-11. Mediums from the International Center for Unified Thaumatology have conducted seances to attempt post-mortem contact with the pilots from Number 444 Squadron RCAF, reporting an abnormally weak response on each occasion. When conducted in the presence of the appropriate SCP-7128 instance, however, paraspectral energy emission approaches the Euclid level. No coherent patterns can be discerned in these emissions. Attempts to contact Jerry Savage, the pilot whose SCP-7128 instance was destroyed by its recipient, have uniformly produced no response at all. Oh my god, I can't believe that guy melted a ghost. Ghost spoons. Howdy, DJ Knight, how you doing? How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome to Reading Time. He's a ghost spoon. Stretch. Ghost metal. The planes are metal. Ghost melters, yeah. They're possessing the spoons. Oh, hey. There it is, Unlucky the Beep. Right back. Won't go nowhere. I'm back. Yeah, the pilots are possessing their spoons. And the one guy, Jerry Savage, his spoon was melted. He's gone. They melted his ghost. Get out. No. This is a fun stream. I'm glad you're having a good time. Alrighty. I think this one has a recording. Yep. So gotta get my voice mod pulled up. Oh boy. Let's preload Radio Demon. There we go. So we don't have to wait for it to load. Take a drink. Alrighty. Here we go. Level 1. Level 198. Descent. Survival difficulty. Survival difficulty. Class 0. Safe. Secure. Devoid of entities. Level 198 is the 199th level of the Backrooms. Level 199. Level 198 takes the form of a vast free fall through open sky. Its true size is unknown. Description: Level 198 lacks solid ground entirely. The only matter within Level 198 consists of clouds of all known classifications, breathable air, and the occasional downpour of rain or snow. Upon entering Level 198, the wanderer who has entered will emerge at the apparent very top of the level, and immediately begin falling at a steady pace. The temperature of Level 198 has been described as uncomfortably, but not unbearably cold. No signs of frostbite or other cold-related injuries were found on either of the two known wanderers who had entered Level 198. At the top of Level 198, the sky has been observed to be completely dark, but at a certain point during the fall, a day-night cycle begins, switching between night and day approximately every 6 hours. No stars were observed in the sky during the night. The duration of a wanderer's fall seems to vary. According to the account of Level 1 resident Gia Lagari, the fall lasted around 22 hours, whereas MEG agent Meadow... Footnote: why does she have a codename? We don't have codenames. Endured a fall that lasted for 8 days. It is unknown what factors influence the duration of a fall. At the end of a fall, the wanderer will reappear safely in a random level. Bases, outposts, and communities. There are no outposts on this level, for obvious reasons. Agent Meadows recording. This is a transcript of a recording by one MEG agent Meadow, who fell into level 198 on July 9th, 2020. The recording opens with about a minute of rushing air and panicked breathing.
All right. I need to get my bearings. Where am I? Don't think I've heard of this level before. God, it's really fucking cold up here.
First recording ends.
Alright, I think I should probably log my long fall just for research's sake. It's been about 2 hours since I entered this level. So far, no signs of solid ground, just clouds. I guess it's kind of pretty. It reminds me of that time I went hiking in the Rockies with my mom, just with less rocks.
Second recording ends.
Hi, it's been around, 9 hours since I've entered. View's getting a bit boring. Anything of note? Oh, yeah, it rained on me once. Made the cold a lot worse, but it got better pretty quickly. I wish it was a bit brighter in here. I get scared that I'm going to drop something.
Third recording ends.
Hello. Been nearly 2 days since I fell. I fell asleep at some point and woke up. Nothing new to note besides a few more run-ins with the rain. Also, there's a blue sky now sometimes. Not much else to report. Bye.
Fourth recording ends.
Just reporting in to say that still nothing's happened. Fuck. So goddamn cold and wet and tired. Over.
The sound of shuffling clothes can be heard. It is assumed that Agent Meadow forgot to end her recording. The sound of crying can be heard about 30 seconds after. More muffled crying can be heard, and then the fifth recording ends.
Been around 4 days since I fell in. Not much to report, besides the fact that it rained all day yesterday. I'm still shivering.
2.5 minutes of silence are recorded before Agent Meadow speaks again.
Just falling and falling forever with no end in sight. Guess that's a pretty fucking suitable descriptor for my entire time here. How long have I been here? 4 months? Feels more like 4 centuries. Why am I even doing this? How many people have died here? How many deaths have I seen? What's the fucking point? Can't keep going on like this.
6 recording ends.
Give it up for day 5! It's been mostly sunny. Mostly been trying to sleep, but that's really hard when you're falling forever. You know, I was supposed to have my high school graduation a month ago. Me and my mom had been waiting for it for months. It was going to be the best day of my life. Then we got into a fight over a bad grade, and I ran upstairs and tripped on the steps, and now I'm going to die here. Or fall here forever. I don't know.
Crying sounds return.
Yes, it beats being eaten by monsters. I miss my mom.
7th recording ends.
Day 7. I hate this place.
No other recordings have been made within the level, and Agent Meadow refuses to talk about the experience following her retrieval from a pool on level 11. Entrances and exits. Entrances. There are 2 known entrances to level 198. According to her statement, Wanderer Gia Lagari found an entrance to level 198 within level 78, where she found a slightly open door with a soft breeze coming out of it. The second entrance is less understood. On July 9th, 2020, Agent Meadow was accosted by 3 death moths on the top of a skyscraper on level 11. Unaware of her surroundings, she stepped back 1 step too far and fell off of the skyscraper. No clipping into level 198 approximately 10 feet before hitting the ground, according to the testimony of a MEG agent patrolling near the bottom of the skyscraper. Exits. It is unknown if there are methods which allow wanderers to leave level 198 willingly. The only known means of escape is to complete one's fall through the level. That was pretty sad. Just a poor lost and scared kid. Stuck in the forever hole from Gravity Falls. What a way to go. Rest in peace. She didn't die. She lived. She got out. Once you reach the bottom, you just pop out somewhere. So if you don't starve to death, you live. You'll make it. Honestly, you probably could make an outpost here. If you get, there's got to be some anomalous item that like floats. You could probably build like a floating base somewhere. But then, eventually, someone is going to fall on it. So it might be a bad idea. Boop. Boop the snoot. Right on the nose. I agree. Like that one guy from Later Alligator. Love that game.
Man, I sounded so young when I played that game. Oh, man.
So young and full of hope. 5 years ago. Or was it 6? Might be 6 years at this point. Fuck, I don't remember. I think that was 2019. Anyway. Blibbity jibba jabba. Y'all ready? I'm ancient like 31. I'm 32. Well, I'm also 31. I'm about to be 32.
I'll be 32 in September.
Do you remember? Do you remember? Remember? Oh my god, it's Fractal. From my first SCP when you get to William Martin Park and you sound like a psycho. Know that I'm a psycho! What kind of psycho? Like a barely contained, like mundane psycho?
More like a movie. Demon kind of guy. You want me to dark elf it up? I'll be a Dunmer for you. Or a ghoul, depending on which game you're more fond of. I like Fallout, but I'm more of a fan of Morrowind, personally. So yeah.
The guy that puts the milk in before the cereal. Ooh. A mundane psycho? So, more assured, right? Less theatrical, maybe more theatrical. Kind of like Scratch, right? So a little too happy. The guy I imagined to be the guy from the movie Longlegs, I have not seen it. Yeah, kinda. Yeah, we'll see when we get there. Is there a recording in this? No. All right. Take a drink. Level 700. Level 700. Flibbity Jibber Jabber. Survival difficulty. Class 4E. Environmental. Unsafe. Unsecure. Moderate to non-entity hazards. Level 700 is the 701st level of the Backrooms. It appears to be an infinitely expanding fractal-shaped cluster of small islands. Description. Level 700, as stated above, is presumed to be an infinite fractal-shaped cluster of small islands, similar to that of a Mandelbrot set. These islands are made up of what seems to be seamless, brushed metal in a jet black color. Around these islands is a sea of salt water that shifts between various shades of purple, and a sky of pure white clouds. These islands have a very hot and dry climate, so constant intake of almond water is recommended. This level also causes heavy psychological distress, with additional reports of hallucinations, nausea, vomiting, and dizziness. It is advised that those who enter this level do not stay for more than an hour, as the intense heat will lead to lethal heat stroke. Drinking from the sea within this level is also inadvisable due to the high salt content and the temperature of the water. Each island has steps that lead to the next, repeating the fractal pattern. While you walk down these steps, the size of your body will scale up or down to match the scale of the respective island. Due to this behavior, from the perspective of the Wanderer, each island's size will be identical to the last. This phenomenon is presumed to extend infinitely, keeping with the geometrical pattern of the fractal. Not much else is known about this level. Travel to this level is infrequent, as an entrance method has not been replicated. As an entrance method has not been replicated. As an entrance method has not been replicated. The existence of this level was confirmed on blank. MEG Explorer blank and his team of 3 contacted MEG Command after they had no-clipped into level 700 via totally symmetrical. They did not make it out alive, but while they were there, they collected and transmitted back valuable information on this level. We honor their sacrifice for the archives. Bases, outposts, and communities. There are no outposts or communities within this level, as extended habitation has been deemed infeasible due to environmental hazards. Entrances and exits. Entrances. A consistent method of entry has not yet been discovered. It is reported that there is a way to enter via level 252, but this is unconfirmed. Exits. As of now, this level has no known exits. Page notes. 1. Note from blank. There is a way out. It must have slipped the author's mind, lol. You have to drink the water. It may just be a few drops on your tongue, but the heat will force you to pass out, and you'll wake up in a random negative level. I woke up in an undocumented level, so I assume you wake up in anywhere from 700 to 799. But that's just a theory. These levels might be dangerous, so be careful. Make sure to drink plenty of almond water afterwards. Good luck, traveler. From your very much alive friend in the Backrooms, blank. Oh my god, they made it out. Wowie. I'm finally back. Welcome back, Cup Polish. How are you? Rorschach from The Watchmen. I haven't seen Watchmen either. I'm uncultured. Oh man. I'm Cockney, I'm uncultured. Anyway, that is set 1. How about set 2? Shwabam. Shwabam. All right. This image, by the way. This looks like something out of a puppet combo game. That level, the only exit is the water, right? You drink the salt water and you wake up somewhere else. Just back from 1 year ago. Did you bring snacks? The Polish has disappeared. You're just Cup now. Oh my. Literally water. It's very salty water. It's also very fucking hot. This is a short game I recommended. It's probably on the play this for a random horror game stream, which I need to do again. I like those. Maybe next time. Night Stop. Oh. Oh, I see. I credited it. Out of the bottom. Meow. What? Or is it at the top? Bleh. No, well, anyway. Howdy, dingus. How are you? Welcome Things you shouldn't do on a beach if you drink the water, but with this particular level, you have to drink the water to get out. Yes. And it is so hot and salty, it causes your body to immediately go into shock. And you pass out. So that's pretty cool, I would say. I finished that water, so I'm opening up another bottle. Stay hydrated. Just in general, but especially when you're talking for hours. Alrighty. Well, we got a week of community articles. So let's begin. His perfect body. Item number SCP-1711-8. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. SCP-1711-8 has to be contained in a metal square box with speakers in the corners of the room in Site 134. When SCP-1711-8 comes out of its dormant state, a loud static noise has to be played through the speakers of its containment chamber to make it go back to a dormant state. If the speakers break in SCP-1711-8, Foundation members have to blast megaphones if it comes out from its dormant state. Description: SCP-1711-8. SCP-1711-8 is a humanoid entity with multiple body parts, which all have a mix of blank and blank body parts, with no head. So no head? It appears to be a butterfly-shaped organism coming out of its place where the head was supposed to be. The butterfly-shaped organism is about 2 feet tall, and it appears heavy to the humanoid body, since the body slows down, yet it still moves at a fast speed. SCP-1711-8 is incapable of speech. SCP-1711-8 butterfly-shaped organism coming out of its head appears to have multiple eyes on the organism. None of them appears to move. It is currently unknown if the organism can be seen. Since the body appears to see even without the organism coming out from its head. The organism doesn't move once it comes out of his head, but the body still moves once it's out of its head. Any pictures taken of SCP-1711-8 have been blurry and unrecognizable. It's unknown why the pictures come out blurry. The way to see SCP-1711-8 is via a video recording. You can't pause the video recording due to the recording automatically unpausing itself. No screenshots can be taken during a recording of the entity, since the same result will happen. Discovery: SCP-1711-8 was founded in a small town in Redacted, Canada. Afterward, people of the town spotted SCP-1711-8 and called it the butterfly-shaped demon. The Foundation knew of the existence of the entity, but didn't know if it was real, so it could be captured and contained. SCP-1711-8 was followed by a Foundation operative disguised as a police officer, and it was traced back to an abandoned gas station called 36 Mart. The operative called the Foundation for backup and sent an MTF with 5 soldiers to find SCP-1711-8. Below is the exploration video log of the first discovery of SCP-1711-8. Exploration video transcript. Subject: SCP-1711-8. Team lead: MTF-1. Team members: MTF-1, MTF-2, MTF-3, MTF-4, MTF-5. Begin log.
03, you got the camera on? Yes, everything on the camera is on and functioning. Right. There's some kind of monster in here, and it appears to be very hostile according to the local murders. Before we go into any questions? Yeah, I have a question. What if this entity is friendly or something? We just found out about this entity, so we do not know if it's friendly, but still have your weapons ready. Any other questions?
Nobody says anything.
03, you take the lead since you have the camera.
MTF-3 opens the door to the gas station.
Okay. Everyone looks around to find someone. Everyone looks around to find something. What the hell is this? You found something? Looks like there's some kind of satanic butterfly in the bathroom, it seems.
MTF-3 pans the camera on the butterfly.
Yeah, this gives me the chills. And you were right about the butterfly. It does look like one. Guys, I think I found a warehouse or something in the basement. And it doesn't look normal. And there's a bunch of blood. Let's take a look around. We can find something in here. So stay sharp.
The MTF looks around for 5 minutes until MTF-3 finds something.
Guys, check this out. It appears to be a bunch of notes by a guy named William Martin. William Martin? I think I recognize this name. I think this guy was a serial killer. Don't know too much about this man, but I read a file about the guy. I think he was nicknamed the Ripper or some shit like that. I just know the news gave him a supervillain-like name. I think he was captured by the police, but he was found dead in his jail cell. And it was unknown how he died or something like that.
Footnote. After further investigation, William Martin was still alive.
Do you think that this killer could somehow be connected to his entity? I do not know, but it could be. Guys? Where's 05?
Gunshots are echoed throughout the warehouse.
Shit, that could be 05. Everyone safety off and follow me. Don't shoot at anything yet.
The rest of the MTF finds the corpse of 05.
What the fuck happened here? What happened to his head? What happened to his arm? Jeez, it feels like I'm about to puke. Guys, there's something in the hallway. 04, call him back up and point your guns at it.
SCP-71. SCP-17-1... SCP-1711-8 butterfly-shaped organism comes out of its body.
What the hell is that?
The MTF shoots at the entity. The entity brutally kills all members except 03, who runs for his life after dropping his camera. The final shot shows SCP-1711-8 retracting its organism back into its body. End log. Incident report. Following the demise of the MTF, the Foundation found out that SCP-1711-8 hates loud noises. The Foundation managed to put SCP-1118. The Foundation managed to put SCP-1711-8 into a dormant state, and managed to transfer it to Site-134. Addendum 1711-8-1. After further investigation of the gas station and the warehouse after the Foundation MTFs were killed, there were traces that the serial killer William Martin could have created SCP-1711-8, due to notes of him saying, "I will create myself a perfect body, a body that I can use to hurt other people." William Martin was originally presumed dead by the general public. William Martin was in Foundation custody as a D-class personnel. William Martin killed a total of blank people, whom he could have used their blank to create SCP-1711-8, but that is currently unknown. Further investigation needs to be conducted. Interviewer: Researcher Carla. Interviewed: William Martin. Forward: after looking into Foundation files, the Foundation discovered that William Martin was a death row D-class personnel. This was an interview with William Martin regarding SCP-1711-8. Begin log.
D-Class number 14578, also known as William Martin, aka the Skin Ripper Killer. Why are you interviewing me? Why are you stating it like that? Mr. Martin? Surprised you're calling me by my real name. Usually in this hellhole, you just call me D-Class. Mr. Martin, we need your compliance here. Fine. I'll do whatever you want. Good. We are here today to talk to you about a certain entity we have in containment. It's an entity we believed you created. Me. Creating something. How could I create something? We talking about something you called my perfect body. Wait. You have her here. I thought that it wouldn't be alive. Where is it? I want to see my child. Let me see it. We cannot do that. Figures,
Blank.
like you wouldn't let me see my child. How did you create this thing? Don't call my child a thing. It's my precious baby. And I made her just because I wanted to. And I'm not going to talk to you anymore unless you show me her. We need to talk to you about this, please. Well, fine. I guess we can talk about it. But I do not want to see it because you probably got her all scared and worried. Good. How did you make her? Well, you must be stupid. But I created her with my victims. Not all of them, of course. Some of my victims didn't fit the pieces to her. And I created her for if I ever got caught by those darn coppers. Would have made her more perfect. Well, it seems like what you wanted because it was part of multiple murders around where your hideout was. Glad it seems she works without me. Now we just need to create more. What do you mean by creating more? Well, I got into contact with some people. I gave them my blueprints or ideas. I think you've heard enough. And also, you should probably get softer tables.
William Martin proceeds to slam his head onto the table 3 times. End log. Closing statement. William Martin was still alive when security rushed into the room. William Martin died 3 hours after the interview, due to blood loss. After his death, SCP-1711-8 made a notable crying noise as a response to his death. Further study has been submitted to see how William Martin is connected to SCP-1711-8. Addendum. Addendum 11. Addendum 1711-8-2. William Martin believed to have contacted Marshall, Carter & Dark Ltd. After further research into his warehouse, we believed he sold off the blueprints for SCP. We believed he sold off the blueprints of SCP-1711-8 for it, and can be sold in the black market. And to any other killers just like William. As of now, no other SCP-1711-8-like entities have been spotted, as of recently. Was that okay? I don't know if it was exactly what you wanted. But it's a very fun way to talk, if I'm being honest. I think I figured out how to maybe spike a little bit of adrenaline at a time. That's very weird. I didn't know you could do that. Anyway. Yeah, I somehow managed to find a very certain way to like breathe and like hold my chest like in a little bit. And it's just like bam, it's like an immediate rush. I think I accidentally figured out how to simulate adrenaline. And I was just doing that the entire time. Sounds like you're crying. I am it's literally physically overwhelming. If I do it for too long, I am on the verge of tears. I did not know you could do that. That is crazy. Great job acting. I mean, I could actually start, like, going into the crying bit. But, it really fucking hurts my mouth. Because of the pressure it puts on the sinuses. Anyway. Absolute cinema. I've never taken a theater class in my life. I have no experience, just vibes. Zero skill, all enthusiasm. That's me. Anyway. We have 3 community SCPs, so we are interspersing them with actual, proper SCPs. I think I only have 3. Yeah, I think I do. Only 3. Yeah, they're being interspersed. Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad never took acting classes. I don't know who that is. But 2, being in a show, that is experience. I've never been in a performance. The only play I've ever been in, I played a snowflake in a 4th grade, like, Christmas play. And all I did was stand in the background and wave the little snowflake around. I'm not an actor. I am not an actor. I am not good at this. It is fun, though. Anyway. This one has not the worst title. Not the longest or weirdest title. This looks like Backrooms, by the way. In fact, I think this might actually be used in a Backrooms article. Wait, what? I feel like I've seen this exact picture before. Oh, fuck, am I getting liminal spaced right now as we speak? Oh, God. Liminal spaces are real. Anyway. One second. Sorry. Had a little bit of water stuck in my ribs. Moving on. North American Hotel Ice Machines, Zalmunna and Zaba. Item number 5172. Level 2, Restricted. Containment Class, Keter. Disruption Class, Vlam, Vlam. Risk Class, Critical. Special Containment Procedures. Social media, SMS, and telephone traffic are to be monitored for mention of ice machines from devices connected to hotel. Footnote. This effect also applies to motels. For the sake of simplicity, each mention of hotels should be understood to include motels as well. Each mention of hotels should be understood to include motels as well. Wi-Fi networks within North America. Wi-Fi networks within North America. Due to the prevalence of false memories related to SCP-5172, no attempt at correcting public beliefs pertaining to hotel ice machines is to be undertaken at this time. Research is focused on uncovering memes and anti-memes that may counter or remove such widespread false memories. Containment is to focus on the detection and disruption of Zalmunna events. See Addendum 2 for more information. MTF Mu-9, Weary Travelers, will be dispatched to the location of suspected Zalmunna events in progress to remove detected instances of SCP-5172-1 and bring specimens back for further examination. All ice machines found at locations affected by SCP-5172 are to be removed and relocated to Site 30. Foundation personnel whose work requires them to stay in hotels in North America are to be briefed on SCP-5172. Personnel will be provided with the materials indicated in Addendum 4, North American Hotel Protocol for Foundation personnel. Description: SCP-5172 is a phenomenon that affects guests at North American hotels. Affected individuals will perceive a machine that serves the sole function of dispensing ice. These ice machines, while otherwise non-anomalous, are typically located in the hallway of the guest's floor, in close proximity to an elevator lobby, or a storage closet, Ice machines are not common amenities in North American hotels. In fact, they do not appear in any contemporary hotels outside of those affected by SCP-5172. Nonetheless, a false memory of having perceived an ice machine is estimated to affect roughly 80% of the North American population. See Addendum 1 for more information. Individuals who perceive and then use these ice machines will initiate a Zalmunna effect. Individuals who perceive and then use these ice machines will initiate a Zalmunna effect. And then use these ice machines will initiate a Zalmunna event. This is likely to cause an instance of SCP-5172-1 to materialize, and it is very likely to result in the individual's injury or death. Addendum 1. History of Hotel Ice Machines. In the 1950s, Holiday Inn founder Kenan Williams attempted to disguise his hotel chain from competitors by offering more amenities to travelers, free of charge. Standard practice among hotels at the time was to charge travelers an additional fee if they requested ice. Williams believed that leaving out an ice machine for guests to freely use would be a welcome amenity. The expense incurred by purchasing this equipment and other amenities. Footnote. For instance, Mr. Williams did not charge extra for children, as was customary for hotels at the time. At one point, Mr. Williams also insisted on his franchises purchasing trampolines and making them freely available to his guests' families. This practice was discontinued after several children suffered serious injuries inside his hotels. Was not offset by a sufficient increase in customers. As such, the practice was discontinued by the mid-1960s. Ice is now readily available in many North American hotels through in-room miniature refrigerator ice dispensers, or included in ice trays. Using or consuming ice found in these contexts has not been shown to cause, or have any connection to the SCP-5172 phenomenon. Despite the fact that hotel ice machines only existed for a brief period, members of the public in Canada, the United States, and Mexico widely hold the belief that these machines are ubiquitous to this day. Empirical testing has consistently demonstrated that hotel ice machines do not exist outside of those associated with SCP-5172. Only about 40 ice machines associated with the phenomenon are recovered per year. Yet a poll of the general public found that 82% of adults recalled memories of seeing a hotel ice machine. Of those who had stayed in hotels in the last year, 33% reported memories of having used said machines without incident. Footnote: margin of error plus or minus 3%. Sample size and questionnaire information available from 5172 Project Head upon request. The source of these false memories, as well as their method of transmission, are still under investigation. Discovery: SCP-5172 was discovered in 1973, when Foundation personnel responded to what appeared to be a series of unsolved murders occurring at hotels in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Extensive testing inside of the hotels led researchers to discover the false memory related to ice machines. The investigation led to the placement of hidden cameras in each of the hotel's rooms. Evidence collected here uncovered the connection between the ice machines, the SCP-5172 phenomenon, and Zalmunna events. Addendum 2. Zalmunna events. Initialization. The Zalmunna event is triggered when a hotel guest, hereinafter, the target, perceives and subsequently uses a hotel ice machine. Footnote: statistical analysis suggests that Zalmunna events occur to completion approximately 50 times per year. It is still unclear what causes an individual to perceive an ice machine in the first place, or what causes an ice machine to appear in a particular hotel. Due to the prevalence of false memories, there is no way of knowing how many individuals actually perceive a hotel ice machine connected to SCP-5172, but simply decline to use it. At this point, the only way to terminate the event is to leave the building and sleep in a private residence. Footnote: the Zalmunna event will still proceed if the target only relocates to a different hotel, or sleeps in a different bed in the same hotel. The ice does not actually need to be used or consumed for the event to progress. Stalking behavior and/or hallucinations. The target will almost immediately begin to perceive an individual, or individuals, watching them from elsewhere in the hotel. Typically, these individuals first appear on the far end of the hallway where the Zalmunna event was initiated. Third-party observers are unable to perceive any individuals observing the target. Attempts to seize, record, or photograph the individuals supposedly watching the target have not produced evidence of their existence. Accordingly, the watchers are believed to be hallucinations. Descriptions of the individuals are fragmentary and do not show any consistent traits. Confusion and fatigue. Within 2 hours of event initialization, the target will display symptoms similar to those seen in early-stage dementia, If the target does not immediately return to their hotel room, they begin to demonstrate signs of confusion, difficulty completing everyday tasks, and short-term memory loss. After 2 hours have elapsed, the target also begins to feel a gradually increasing sense of fatigue. Within 4 hours of event initialization, the fatigue typically reaches the point that it becomes difficult or dangerous for the target to perform activities, such as driving or swimming. Zalmunna event survivors report feeling as if their mind is too active to fall asleep anywhere other than in a hotel bed. This typically leads the target to seek out their hotel room. In spite of this sensation, the target is not compelled to follow this course of action. The target may still seek out a bed located in a private residence if they are aware it is an option. Targets will not fall asleep outdoors or in public places, but will experience the standard health consequences associated with increasing sleep deprivation. Targets can only fall asleep in hotels or private residences. If they do fall asleep in a private residence, the event is terminated. See Addendum 4. Sleep. When the target does reach a hotel bed, they immediately enter the hypnagogic state, associated with the normal transitional period between wakefulness and sleep. Under normal conditions, the room's temperature begins to drop until it reaches approximately 11 degrees Fahrenheit, until it reaches approximately 11 degrees Celsius, 51.8 degrees Fahrenheit. After a brief period of hypnagogia, the target proceeds as normal through the sleep cycle until they enter slow wave sleep. Footnote: often referred to as deep sleep. This typically occurs within 1 hour of laying in bed. Appearance of SCP-5172-1. An instance of SCP-5172-1 appears after the target enters slow wave sleep. It will generally phase through the door connecting the target's hotel room to the hallway. SCP-5172-1 is not perceptible to a person who is in the room with the target at the time of this entry, but can be observed through cameras and other devices. The target returns to the hypnagogic state, but is unable to move. This results in a condition resembling sleep paralysis. SCP-5172-1 crawls towards the bed on all fours, before assuming a sitting position on the target's chest. SCP-5172-1 inserts a thin, proboscis-like appendage into one or both of the target's eye sockets for several seconds. This does not cause physical damage, but it is theorized to be a way for SCP-5172-1 to transmit a paralytic agent or other substance to the target's brain to aid in the harvesting process that follows. Harvesting behavior. After retracting the appendage, SCP-5172-1 opens its own chest cavity and retrieves a pair of unidentified tools. It then begins applying the tools and extracting cubes, measuring approximately 4 cm by 4 cm by 4 cm, 1.57 inches from the target's body. The cubes may consist of tissue, muscle, bone, semi-solid blood, or a combination thereof. SCP-5172-1 uses the tools in a cutting and scooping motion, which appears to make all of these organic substances equally easy for it to collect. That is, bone is no more difficult to cut through than any other organic matter of the target. Each cube is placed into SCP-5172-1's open chest cavity before it repeats the process and collects another cube. The chest cavity is capable of containing more matter than its appearance would suggest. SCP-5172-1's motions during harvesting begin slowly, collecting cubes at a rate of about 2 per minute. It gradually increases its pace until it is collecting approximately 50 cubes per minute. SCP-5172-1 typically completes the harvesting process after 2 to 3 hours of activity. After completion, SCP-5172-1 returns to the hallway door and faces into it, dematerializing. Survival of Zalmunna event, restricted to clearance level 4s and above only. After the harvesting process begins, SCP-5172-1 can be interrupted in order SCP-5172-1 can be interrupted in order to prevent the death of its targets. See Addendum 3. If the process is interrupted before SCP-7152-1 harvests a sufficient amount of any vital organs, targets can survive with limited, but permanent, injuries. Targets do not experience normal blood loss during the harvesting process, an effect that lasts for about 6 hours following the start of the process. Accordingly, prompt medical attention can allow targets who have been partially harvested to stabilize and recover. Individuals who have survived partial harvesting report being conscious and aware throughout the process. This experience is marked by an elevated heart rate, difficulty breathing, and subjective feelings of terror. SCP-5172-1 collects all of the organic matter of the target, except for the major elements of the central nervous system: the spinal cord, peripheral nerves, the retina, the eyes, and the brain. In the case of a completed Zalmunna event, these elements will be the only ones that are not removed, as SCP-5172-1 scoops around them. Targets will continue to display signs of consciousness for longer than should be possible, even in the case of a completed Zalmunna event. Should a harvesting process be interrupted after the target loses a vital organ, the target will live for 1 to 2 hours. Update 2020, December 30th. The proboscis-like appendage used before harvesting is no longer believed to be used to administer a paralytic agent. Repeated observation shows that targets already demonstrate symptoms of paralysis. By the time an SCP-5172-1 instance materializes, efforts are underway to explore the theory that the appendage is introduced in order to ensure that targets remain conscious throughout the process. Addendum 3.SCP-5172-1. Addendum 3. SCP-5172-1. SCP-5172-1 is an individual instance of a humanoid entity, approximately 122 centimeters, 48 inches in height, and 28.6 kilograms, 63 pounds in weight. Its arms are about twice the length of what would normally be expected of a human of these dimensions. It also has pronounced frontal and parietal bones, creating the appearance of an elongated forehead. The proboscis-like appendage measures approximately 90 centimeters, 35.4 inches, and extends and retracts from the mouth on the instance's face. If a Zalmunna event is interrupted by an individual's sudden entry into the hotel room, the SCP-5172-1 instance will cease harvesting and attempt to attack the individual. Its strength is comparable to that of a human of its stature, but the tools SCP-5172-1 uses during harvesting are capable of cutting through protective gear and causing serious injury. While it is not particularly strong, it is capable of moving at an advanced speed as it approaches the end of the harvesting process. Extreme caution is advised for Extreme caution is advised for personnel attempting to neutralize an SCP-5172-1 instance that has almost completed a harvesting process. If multiple people enter the room during the harvesting process, SCP-5172-1 will attempt to hide from sight. If it can escape the sight of all people in the room, the SCP-5172-1 instance will dematerialize. The SCP-5172-1 instance will dematerialize. SCP-5172-1 has several biological systems analogous to that of humans. Accordingly, it can be killed through the application of force that would typically be lethal for humans, such as stabbing or gunshots. Autopsies of recovered specimens show that SCP-5172-1 has circulatory systems, though the central circulatory organ, akin to a heart, is located in the head. As a result, SCP-5172-1 can expire from blood loss or sufficient head trauma. SCP-5172-1 does not appear to have respiratory or digestive organs. Recovered instances may possess male or female reproductive organs. These organs are misshapen and diminutive, corresponding to symptoms of human hypogonadism. Corresponding to symptoms of human hypogonadism. These organs are likely vestigial, having no role in the reproduction of SCP-5172-1 instances. Killing an SCP-5172-1 instance, but leaving an ice machine in a hotel under the effect of SCP-5172 means that future Zalmunna events can still occur on the premises. Efforts to capture a live SCP-5172-1 instance have thus far been unsuccessful. Instances that do not have their hands bound are capable of spontaneously materializing their tools and cutting their way through containment chambers. Instances whose hands are bound or are otherwise rendered incapable of using its tools die within several minutes. Similarly, the instance's tools disappear upon death. Research is underway regarding alternatives for close-up live study of SCP-5172-1 specimens. Addendum 4. North American Hotel Protocol for Foundation Personnel. Foundation personnel whose duties require them to stay in hotels are required to familiarize themselves with documentation surrounding SCP-5172. A log of confirmed SCP-5172 manifestations will be made available to personnel whose duties require regular hotel stays. All personnel staying in hotels will be given single-purpose communication devices for reporting suspected SCP-5172 phenomena. Awareness of SCP-5172 is not enough to avoid triggering a Zalmunna event. Several Foundation personnel, as hotel guests, have found themselves absent-mindedly using an ice machine, despite being fully aware of the consequences. Personnel who have triggered a Zalmunna event must report it to command immediately in order to receive instructions for extraction. Personnel are not permitted to return to their hotel rooms without express approval from command. If feasible, personnel will be given directions to a nearby Foundation safe house, where they can fall asleep in a way that terminates the Zalmunna event. As a final precaution, all personnel staying in hotels are required to wear heart rate monitors at all times while on the hotel premises. In the event that personnel initiate a Zalmunna event and are unable to notify command prior to falling asleep, algorithmic algorithmic detection of sudden increases in heart rate can be used to detect a Zalmunna event in its early stages. Command will be notified of heart rate irregularities and dispatch the nearest available MTF if personnel do not respond to communications. MTF response will occur in any situation where it is possible for a team to arrive prior to the completion of the Zalmunna event. Update: 21st, 2021, January 11th. As of 2021, one confirmed instance of SCP-5172 has been located in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Foundation personnel have recovered an ice machine, and human remains indicative of a completed Zalmunna event. This is the first known instance of SCP-5172 to occur outside of North America. Notably, the Netherlands had no prior public perception of ice machines as a common hotel amenity. At present, it is unclear if this is an isolated incident, or if it signals that the anomaly is in the process of spreading to other locations. All available Site-30 resources are being shifted into investigating the possible reasons for SCP-5172's spread. Countering or mitigating the spread is now considered highest priority for 5172 research team personnel. And now I never want to use a ice machine again in my life. That one was actually hella long, so I have to save that as its own set. 1 second. We do that. Alrighty. Anyway, we've been reading for about an hour and a half, so I think now is a good time to take a break. So, get up, walk around, stretch your legs, all that good stuff, and we will be right back. Welcome back. Alrighty. Well, that one article took up almost an entire recording. I mean, honestly, it would have taken one entire recording session on its own. Can't really go above 30 to 40 minutes before recording audio starts to get a little bit wonky. That thing took up an entire section on its own. That's crazy. Also, we're in sit-down mode now. So that's pretty cool. Alrighty. God damn, this chair's so creaky. One of these days, I'm actually going to replace it. One of these days. Maybe. Probably not. Anyway. Next, we are going back to SCP articles. And by that I mean community articles, actually. Alrighty. Notes from the future, eh? Alright. Alrighty. Let's begin. Notes from the future. Notes from the future. Item number SCP-1570-06 SCP-1576 SCP-15706 Object Class Safe Special Containment Procedures SCP-15706 has to be kept in an anomalous storage locker in Site-112. SCP-15706 has to be inspected every week to check if there are any notes manifested inside of it. Description: SCP-15706 is an old-fashioned briefcase, appearing to be from the 1950s. The briefcase appears to be damaged, with a few scratches due to age. The briefcase is capable of bringing back notes from the future. Footnote: to this date, we only had 12 notes. We only had 12 notes. We only had 12 notes. The ability of how it is capable of doing this is currently unknown. Foundation personnel attempted to see if SCP-15706 would take any current day notes results, which led to no effect. Harbors no other anomalous effects. SCP-1570-06 was found in Researcher Nolan's locker in his room on Site-112. It's unknown how it got there. Addendum: below are all of the notes and dates of time from when they appeared in SCP-15706. First note: date acquired June blank. First day after SCP-15706 appeared. Hello, I am a researcher from the SCP Foundation. I will not be saying my name because I don't want them to find out that I am stealing this item for my personal use. Before I start, I'm just going to say I am not a great writer. Footnote: the notes have all been corrected in their writing. I found out recently there's an object that's capable of writing notes to the past or the future, but we do not know how it works because we can't control where it comes from or where it goes. All we know is Cotton Eye Joe's. The current year is 2181. I wonder how the Foundation looked from the past sometimes. I'm even curious about how the old Foundation even contained anomalies. Anyway, I have nothing much to say at the moment. I'll be sending more notes throughout this thing once in a while. I do not know when this note will get to you, But I hope someone from the Foundation or a civilian finds it somewhere in the world, whatever that is, in the past or future. Second note. Date acquired, June blank, acquired 2 days after the previous note. Okay, I may have rushed the past note to whoever acquired this, but in the year 2181, the Foundation changed a lot, and the world changed a lot. Most governments don't even exist. The United States government collapsed and some other governments collapsed. You probably don't want to hear about other countries or governments. Whoever is reading this probably wants to know about the Foundation and such. I will tell you about the Foundation just a little bit. The Foundation has been doing well. It's literally been the same. An anomaly shows up, and we go there and fetch it. Since I am running out of space, in the next note, however long it takes, I will talk about more stuff. Third note. Date acquired. July blank. Acquired 8 days after the previous note. Okay, I don't know how long this is going to take, but I figured you want to hear about the Foundation this time. Well, the Foundation has decided to go to space, because space travel has become kind of common. Heck, even on Mars they're planning on doing a space elevator. Somehow the Foundation managed to transfer multiple anomalies to different colonies in space. By that I mean Mars. Yet somehow no one knows we still exist. Figures we should have been discovered, but we have not. And yes, Mars has entities, but they require a lot more unique than usual. But hey, that's the future for you. The future is very unique. I just want to tell you about that. Well, maybe in the next note I can give you more information about the Foundation's favorite enemies, but I suppose we can talk about that in the next note. Fourth note. Date acquired. August blank. Acquired 32 days after the previous note. Sorry, this note is going to come later than usual. I don't know how this thing will work. But it's been a bit... well, in my time. My job got interesting for sure. But I promised you information about the Foundation enemies. Well, let's talk about a couple. The Chaos Insurgency, those guys are still around. I don't know the Foundation did not snuff them out. The Global Occult Coalition, they got wiped out in terms of how, I do not know. Marshall Carter and Dark. Black market is pretty common around these days, which is strange. Dr. Wondertainment, no one knows how they disappeared. For I know, Dr. Wondertainment, the man himself, finally died or something like that. That's all I know. Any other organizations are gone or still existing, but I do not have all the information to convey that knowledge. That's it for now. Hopefully the next one wouldn't take long. Fifth note. Date acquired. August blank. Acquired 6 days after the previous note. Hello again. Fifth note. Last time I talked about your favorite enemies, as I call them. Let's talk about the anomalous that are kept in store here. Like I said, I am low-ranked researcher and I shouldn't even be talking about this, but here we go. Most of the entities that you contained are either gone now, gone missing. I don't even know how that's possible. You see, the Foundation is kinda underfunded here in the future. Sure, we can travel through space, but the Foundation these days, quite frankly, is not like it's used to. Obviously, I do not know the exact funds of the Foundation now, but that's all I can do today, for now at least. Footnote. Sixth note. Date acquired. August blank, acquired 8 days after the previous note. I don't want you to get excited for more and more stuff, so let's just talk about myself and who I am. Kinda. Like I said, I'm not going to express my name, and I do not give a damn if I have to express that back, and I do not know which timeline this anomaly goes to, if any. For I know this briefcase probably eats these papers and just puts them in some kind of paper trash dimension. Is our world a central reality or something? What even is life anymore? Why are entities a thing? Why does it feel like the Foundation knows I send these notes? Why does it feel like the Foundation know I'm sending these notes to the briefcase? Why do we even have to exist? Oh, wait. I know why. To protect humanity. And humanity doesn't even know we exist. God, I wish we could just come out to the world and say, oh, here we are, but no, we just stay in secret for entirely. That's it for now. 7th note. Date acquired. 12 hours after the previous note. Okay. My apologies for my tangent. I just got stressed and probably just sent all of my stress on this piece of paper. Anyway, you wanted to know about me. Well, I joined the Foundation, mostly because my dad was a head researcher of some project. I don't know what project it was. That's all out of my hands for now, until hopefully I get promoted in some time soon. But since my dad was pretty famous, I guess you could say around the Foundation ranks, I was practically bound to work with them. At some point. I never seen my father much, and my mother, I don't know what happened to her. And it's practically the same thing today. I don't see my father at all as well. I don't know how he even looks like anymore. Well, I shouldn't say it like that. Working here, it's hard. 8th note. Date acquired. September blank. 37 days after the previous note. I finally got promoted. It was years of hard work, but I did it. And it's the year 2182, and I'm still surprised no one has found me with this briefcase. It's been a while since I even touched this briefcase. It's been like 300 days since I touched this. The Foundation got me working on a lot of projects, per se. I did the hard work, deed, and I got promoted. Promoted to what? You may be saying, promoted to what? Well, I got promoted to head researcher. And you're probably wondering, for what? Well, that is classified, but I am so excited to finally get into the opportunity of working more at the Foundation. I have a goal to become something bigger here, like the O5 Council. But I do not know, to be honest. That's it for today. 9th note. Date acquired. October blank. 11 days after the previous note. Footnote. The note appears to have been tampered with. Only a couple sentences have appeared. So, we got something big going on. And I'm going to tell blank. This is so cool. Blank. But wait. There's more. Blank. Isn't that cool? We could. Blank. Well, that's it for now. Bye. 10th note. Date acquired. November blank. 30 days after the previous note. 2 days till the party. Foundation got something special going on. You know the big experiment I was talking about in my previous note? Well, it's happening soon. We getting all the top people involved even. Dr. Jack Bright. Did I mention the old man is still alive? Yeah, he's still alive. Having different bodies as he always do in the past. Probably already know this. But, well, the experiment could finally bring an end to most stuff that the Foundation couldn't do. I'm gonna make one last note tomorrow, and I hope you get my last note soon. 11th note. Date acquired. December blank. 29 days after the previous note. Well, for my last note, I don't know what to say, but 1 day till the party. But the Foundation is gonna change, in my opinion, for the better. Makes me want to tear up. But I don't want my tears over this paper. The Foundation is going to change for the good of the Earth and the future. This experiment will save us all. Well, I am not going to express my name still. I think it's time to put this briefcase back into containment for one final time. To whoever is reading this, I hope you were a wonderful person who used these papers as sort of lesson. I made about 50 notes, but some were not good enough for this briefcase, so I just kept it to myself. I might be back for more note, but I think it's time to say goodbye for now. Or for the last time. Head researcher, blank. Footnote. The name was already scratched out. 12th note. The last note the Foundation got. Date acquired. December blank. 1 day after the previous note. My name is Head Researcher, blank. The Foundation messed up the massive blank. Is causing the world to end. I don't know how I am alive. I'm using this briefcase as my final message from the future. I will shove all my notes in here, including the plans for this blank. Please, do not run it. I don't know how I am alive. Everyone is dying. Blank. My name is Researcher B... blank. And this is my final message. Blank. We could have done better. This briefcase is the last resort. Goodbye, past. It was fun writing to you if you're even going to the past. Blank. Addendum 15706-2. The Foundation looked for multiple files regarding any last names or first names that start with B. After a small interview conducted with researcher Noland, there was no trace of him knowing anybody with first and last name involving the letter B that isn't in the Foundation. There are theories saying that it could have been Dr. Jack Bright's son, but that is just a theory. No other notes had appeared in the briefcase thus far, including the files for the project he was working on. No testing has been approved by any higher-ups regarding whether we can force the notes to appear inside SCP-15706. Oh my god. Interdimensional enter-timey-wimey pin pals. Wowie. Remember that one tale I wrote? Yeah, I remember. I think I read it.
An SCP theory. A skip theory. Thanks for reading.
Good shit. I am for some reason exhausted. But you know what? Fuck it. We keep going. Alrighty. Next. Adjust my microphone a little bit. Alright, we're going to start out with something a little unorthodox. Because this article has an interesting title. So, let me take a drink. Volume warning. Ah! Item number SCP-2226-JP. Object class Safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-2226-JP is currently contained in a soundproof, large object containment chamber. As vibrations during transport might cause SCP-2226-JP to emit noises, it is generally not moved outside from its containment chamber, and all experiments will be conducted in its containment chamber. To prevent risking exposure to its anomalous properties, all experiments must be performed by D-Class personnel, equipped with earmuffs, under the remote supervision of the personnel in charge. Following the experiment, All D-Class personnel who performed the experiment or served as subjects are to be administered amnestics. Description: SCP-2226-JP is the collective designation for 2 human cadavers. SCP-2226-JP-1-2 that have undergone anomalous bodily modifications. Non-invasive examination has revealed SCP-2226-JP body cavities do not contain a heart, lungs, stomach, liver, intestines, or body fat. Leaving the body cavities completely hollow. Both subjects possess a suture mark extending from their chest to their abdomen. Thus, it is determined that all the organs and fat were removed through surgical means. The vocal cords are not removed, but are stiff and remains in a closed state. The nostrils and anus were sewn shut, leaving only the mouth open. For unknown reasons, SCP-2226-JP's interior is filled with air. When the abdomen area is pressed, air will flow in and out from SCP-2226-JP's interior through the vocal cords, producing a noise from SCP-2226-JP's mouth at a volume much higher than average vocalizations. This noise, SCP-2226-JP-A, has been described as a human scream, and humans who hear SCP-2226-JP-A directly, hereafter referred as victim, will suffer from hallucinations which are described as intense pain and fear. Experiments have proven that wearing earplugs or any other hearing protection equipment are able to alleviate these hallucinations to a certain extent. Most victims are unable to specify details of the aforementioned pain and dread. But a few victims reported pain of their body hair being plucked and a fear towards chickens. The correlation of this is still undergoing investigation. Notably, most victims will also produce noises similar to SCP-2226-JP-A, especially victims without any hearing protection equipment. Addendum: SCP-2226-JP was first discovered in a private residence located in a mountainous area in Miyazaki Prefecture. SCP-2226-JP-1-2 were identified as the residents, Takashi Kuroki and Kimiko Kuroki, respectively. The couple had privately raised about a dozen chickens, mainly to obtain eggs and meat. However, none of the chickens could be located, and only a large amount of chicken feathers were found scattered throughout the scene. A butcher's knife stained with the couple's blood was also recovered, alongside their removed organs. According to the neighbor's testimony, the couple had planned to slaughter some chickens the night before the object's discovery. How the couple was processed into SCP-2226-JP is currently unknown. This is the weirdest copy of Chicken Run I've ever seen. It turned into a screaming chicken, idiot. That's literally what happened. The chickens killed these two and turned them into the screaming chicken toy. That's what happened. That's crazy. That would be something inappropriate or something? Nah. Just screaming. Just the tortured screams of the damned. You know how it is. Anyway. Next. Another community article. This one not written by Freddy. What? Wowza, what? It was written by Koba Dish. Haven't seen it in a minute. About a year. They post in the Discord sometimes. Meh. Alrighty. I might have to cut out the final set because I am starting to wear pretty heavily. The impossible has happened. Finally, Freddy's entire monopoly on the community tab has been broken. No. There is another. Yes. Yes. Alrighty. Remember when Just Night would post there? Did they still go by Just Night? No, the janitor. They're that janitor now. I remember when they were Rumu. Oh, man. Good old days. The good old days. Anyway. Next. The last man on Earth. Item number. SCP-69302. Object class. Euclid. Special containment procedures. Due to the properties of SCP-69302, containment is to be done by monitoring SCP-69302 and ensuring it stays within a safe radius of Site-69302. SCP-69302 has been contained in a large artificial city within Site-69302, containing large amounts of food, water, and other items ensuring the survival of SCP-69302. Under no circumstances should any personnel interact with SCP-69302, as it may cause severe distress and significantly deteriorate its mental health. The city is to be kept in a state of disrepair, and is to not have a single functioning light source in order to keep up the facade. Description. SCP-69302 is a black-haired, Caucasian male of average height who believes itself to be the last man on Earth. Due to how it behaves, it is believed that SCP-69302 is completely incapable of seeing any living being, with it instead seeing a blank space, regardless of how close said being is to SCP-69302. However, if SCP-69302 interacts with another being, it will enter a state of extreme distress and use whatever object it can find in order to fend off the attacker. Though it will almost always miss its target due to not being able to see them. As of now, SCP-69302 appears to have entered a state of insanity, often seen talking to empty spaces and holding inanimate objects while speaking in different tones. SCP-69302 came to the Foundation's attention after it was caught stealing various food items from a local Walmart in Colorado. Being arrested by the police where its anomalous properties became known where its anomalous properties become noticed by embedded field agents posing as police officers. Later, SCP-69302 would be contained at Site-16. SCP-69302 would be contained at Site-16. But after taking a look at its current mental health, the Ethics Committee concluded that it would be better for it to be contained in an environment more fitting to its properties. It is like the ultimate solipsism. Literally unable to see other people existing. It is only you. And you are legend. Now, a question must be asked. It can't see them. I am guessing he can't hear them. However, does he see what they do? Like if they pick something up, does he see it like floating? Or if they write something, do they see the writing be made? For example, could you give this guy limited internet access in order to provide for social needs? Things to think about. Stretch. Alrighty. We are going to do the last 2 articles for this set that I have. The set that I have. Then we will be done. So I'm going to go cut the wildlife readings from the list. We will do those next time. We'll finish off with a couple more backrooms for the weekend. Alrighty. Drink. You know what would be really funny? If that, like, pseudo-adrenaline thing that I figured out how to do earlier is actually just, like, forcing my body to use adrenaline. And I'm experiencing a crash because of that. That'd be really fucking funny if I accidentally figured out how to stimulate adrenaline. I don't think I did. Just a thought. Mud pigs, flying pineapple. Orange peel. Alan is turning into a psychopath. That's my secret cap. Always have been. I'm a little picture on your screen. Of course I'm a psychopath. Look at me, I'm too cute. In real life, I'm fat and sweaty. I'm not this cute. It's hot, okay? It's been raining all day and it's humid. You try not being sweaty. All right? Anyway, let's move on. Told you I'm a psycho. Level 117. Math class. Survival difficulty. Class 4. Unsafe. Insecure. Medium entity count. Level 117 is the 118th level of the Backrooms. Description. Level 117 consists of a seemingly infinite number of rooms. These rooms are connected directly through doorways and resemble school classrooms. The rooms are very similar in design with slight variations, often featuring chalkboards, desks, and cabinets. Occasionally, school supplies such as pencils and binders can be found around the level. The level is lit by lighting fixtures in the ceiling, some of which are burnt out. Level 117 has an 18-hour day-night cycle, with 7 hours dedicated to daytime and 11 dedicated to nighttime. During the nighttime, all of the lighting fixtures will switch off, and janitors will begin to roam the halls. Smilers can occasionally be seen in the darker corners of Level 117, but are rarely seen at night. Some reports say that this is because they are afraid of the janitors, but this is not confirmed. Entities. Aside from Smilers, there are two main entities that can be found in Level 117. The janitors, and an entity who calls himself Mr. Freeman. Mr. Freeman. Mr. Freeman can occasionally be seen during the daytime, teaching in empty classrooms. This usually consists of the entity giving lectures about topics found in high school level algebra and geometry classes to the empty classroom. Some say there's more than one identical Mr. Freeman. These reports are unconfirmed. Mr. Freeman is friendly to wanderers, may invite them to listen to his lectures if he sees them. Janitors. Janitors are the most common entity found in Level 117. They appear as shadowy figures wearing navy blue uniforms and carrying flashlights. Janitors also often carry around large brooms and trash cans and will sweep the floors of the classrooms. They will not react to wanderers unless the wanderers get very close. When a wanderer gets close to a janitor, the janitor will quickly engulf that person in shadow. Afterwards, the janitor will return to cleaning duties with the person no longer there. It is unknown what happens to people engulfed by janitors. It is unknown what happens to people engulfed by janitors. But there have been several unconfirmed reports of these people reappearing as students in Level 52. Because of janitors, it is inadvisable to visit Level 117 during the nighttime. Bases, outposts, and communities. There are no known bases, outposts, and communities in Level 117. This is likely due to the danger that janitors pose during the nighttime. Entrances and exits. Entrances. The primary method of reaching Level 117 is by entering classrooms in Level 83, which very occasionally lead to Level 117. Some people have also had success entering through Level 18, but this is not reliable. Exits. Some rooms in Level 117 contain cupboards labeled calculators. When entered, they lead to Level 4. There are also reports of no clipping through the walls to reach Level 190, but this is not yet confirmed. Red doors can also be found rarely throughout the level. When entered, these lead to Level 74. Mr. Freeman, wake up and smell the ashes. Smell the ashes. What a nice guy, Mr. Freeman. Mr. Anderson. Alrighty. We got one article left for the night, and then I'm going to go pass out. Yeah, I don't know what I did, but I'm rapidly running out of energy. Love the stream. Good night. Have a good night, Sasha. Sasha Hart. Thanks for hanging out. Alrighty. Level 89. A Taste of Home. Survival difficulty. Class 1. Safe. Secure. Minimal entity count. Level 89 is the 90th level of the Backrooms. It was discovered by a wanderer who ventured deep into level 11 and entered a gateway into a cherry tree grove. Description: Level 89 takes the form of a 1940s ice cream parlor. A wanderer arriving here will, 98.7% of the time, appear at the entrance of the parlor, with a canopy sign atop the front door reading, "A Taste of Home, established 1938. The exterior of A Taste of Home is pristine, with no signs of damage or flaws. I don't remember if I read the title. Level 89, A Taste of Home. The walls are the color of a rosy, muted pink, and the roof is a creamy beige. Flowers are commonly spotted decorating the field around the building, varying from roses to asters to white lilies. The scent outside smells faintly of smoke, cupcakes, and blood. The parlor is surrounded by Cornelius cherry trees, which presumably stretch on infinitely. Attempts to walk away from the parlor and through the trees will eventually bring the wanderer back to the building. As such, there is no point of exit from level 89 through the infinite grove. Upon entry, one will be greeted by faceless cutouts of ice cream scoopers. Once more, the interior is as clean and immaculate as the outside. However, unlike the exterior, the walls are a dark blue-gray. Coat hooks can be found near the front door, a few occupied by a few black jackets. Posters outline the walls, filled with fun war propaganda, in which the now extinct party poopers made an attempt to convince explorers to join their side in the battle against the partygoers. Because of this, it is believed that this level was a place of refuge before their extinction. The inside of the parlor is spacious. Velvet seats and tables are great in number, enough room for small outposts and communities to form. Inside these seats are compartments in which one can find bottles of almond water, twin fingers, and occasionally, level keys within them. Every so often, evocationaries can be found on the counter. Wanderers are heavily advised to ignore or destroy them. The front counter is also safe to enter. The ice cream counter freezer is filled with a variety of ice creams, all safe to consume. The toppings are all confirmed to be fresh and edible, and once finished, will be refilled by the end of the week. The counter is allowed to be entered and used, so long as it is not abused or kept from others. Thus, it is thought that this is how the party poopers were able to bring food to fellow party poopers and wanderers in level 52. Besides, the front counter is an employees-only room, a popped balloon tied to the door's handle. This door is heavily blocked and guarded by one of level 89's communities, for their belief that this entryway was used as transport by the partygoers before the party poopers broke bonds with them. Any attempts to enter the room will be proven futile. There is a back door in the parlor which always either leads to level 11 or level 6.1. This entryway is frequently used by Sweet Station to access extra supplies/snacks that the level doesn't have. One may only be allowed to access this entryway if they are to volunteer on trips with the MEG group or the members of Sweet Station. See bases outposts, and communities. Entities. Every now and then, adult and child facelings may walk into the parlor. They will bear the same effects as facelings on level 11. They will wait at the front of the counter until someone comes up to take their order. It is unknown where they come from prior to entering. Lest one has the ability to comprehend voiceless orders, it is recommended to leave the facelings alone. If engaged in physical combat, the entities will revert to their default state and attack. Besides facelings, evocationaries and fellow wanderers are the only entities that occupy level 89. Bases, outposts, and communities. Sweet Station. The first community to have been formed in this level, which consists of 5 adults and 3 children. This group is open to trade, and will answer any questions, if need be. Only 1 or 2 of the members in this group tend to go out to venture for extra supplies that the level doesn't have. Heavily guards the employees only room. If unable to block the room, they will pass the role to the members of base Cone Campers. MEG, aka the Major Explorer Group, base Cone Campers. This team was created to keep tabs on the employees only room and to interview wanderers who come from potentially dangerous levels. They are close with the folks of Sweet Station. Group consists of 10 people and are willing to accept volunteers. Open to trade and will answer any questions. Entrances and exits. Entrances. Entering a gateway into a cherry tree grove deep into level 11 will lead to level 89. Imagining an ice cream parlor in level 18 will lead one to level 89. Finding and going through a pink door in level 6.1 will lead a wanderer to this level. Finding a classroom with an ice cream drawn on the board in level 52 will lead one to level 89. Exits. No clipping into a cherry tree outside the parlor will lead an explorer into level 11.1. Walking out the back door will either take a wanderer into level 11 or level 6.1. Completing all 3 states whilst holding an evictionary will lead one back to level 18. No clipping by touching a high school class schedule poster near the counter will take one to level 52. It is believed that entering the employees only room will take a wanderer to level fun. But because of the door being guarded at all times, this has not been proven. Wowee. And like that, we are done for the night. Because I wore myself out being an idiot. Guess you just practically completed the map, just waiting for my friend to finish adding his additions. Hell yeah, dude. Congrats. Sorry, it's hard to clap loud enough for the mic to hear it without it being overwhelming. Anyway, as I've stated, I am, for some reason, exhausted, so I'm going to call it here. Tomorrow is a watch-along stream, probably. Didn't actually talk to Bree about what we're watching yet, so I actually don't know. I'll figure it out. The joy is, yippee! Yippee! Goodbye. Thanks for stopping by, Betavan. On Sunday, we should hopefully finally actually play Judge Sim. I hope it's good. Alrighty. Well, thank you all for hanging out. I hope you had a good time, because I certainly did. Y'all have a good night, and I will see you all Oops. Later.